I'm Mary Amy, and this is Signs of Light. Good afternoon. I'm coming from New York. It's 11:53, and I have to give you an apology. I'm super sorry. I have not been on for a few days, and I'll tell you why. Couple of things. I was regrouping on what I'm doing here with my whole backdrop and the set, and I initially had pictures of Bigfoot and aliens, and I felt like there was a lot going on, so I decided to establish more of a look that is conducive to who I am, and then I will bring on photos of aliens and Bigfoot and all that good stuff. But so I'm in the midst of changing. So next week, hopefully by Monday's show, I'm having a guest, Peter Hansen, angelic channeler, and he's a friend of mine, and he's joining us, and he's going to give us tips to become more spiritual and enlightened beings and more compassion. And by then, I hope to have a new upgraded set. And that stream will be starting at 2 o'clock on Monday. Anna, are you on?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, here we are. It's Friday. We're about to embark on a beautiful weekend, and here in New York, the weather's changed quite a bit. We had some really, really hot days, and they were humid, and it's almost like you didn't even feel comfortable being outside. But now, today, we have a beautiful breeze. The sky is blue, and I'm excited for the weekend. Okay, today's show, we are going to cover topics like the 12 laws of nature, natural phenomenon, and real-life phenomenon, which kind of borders on supernatural. And then also UFO stories. What's in the news and what's going on. We're expecting this report come June 25th by the Pentagon, and all the different branches of government are putting in their take on UFOs and aliens. That. But before we get to that, you know I have a disclaimer. I am not a medical professional. I give helpful tips to inner peace and personal serenity. My holistic modalities are, I'm an intuitive wisdom coach, which means on some level I understand beyond beyond our physical being, and I'm a Reiki master, and I'm an ordained minister. Bright light shines on us. Every thought is very powerful, and we are all part of a whole. My pain is your pain, and your pain is mine. Karma is a cycle of cause and effect. Now, the sacred knowledge that I impart on you is to connect to a light source, engage with nature, and record your sleeping dreams for the universe to take you on your ultimate destiny. Okie dokie, here we go. So the 12 laws of nature, they're really like the universal laws. So I've pulled up some photos while I explain what they are. Now these laws will help you, because if you have knowledge about these laws, they're kind of a philosophy, they're a bit psychological, and I would say there's a side to them that's spiritual. So the law of divine oneness is the first law. We are all connected. All thoughts and words and actions will affect others. So in other words, be good to others. The second law of nature is the law of energy or vibration, which everything in the universe moves in a circular way in the physical world, and our thoughts and wants move in their own vibration and frequency. Vibrational patterns are created by our own thoughts and feelings. Good thoughts help everyone, not only you. Like I say, your pain is my pain and my pain is yours, because whatever I'm feeling to an extent is something either from you or someone else, and vice versa. So if I'm not feeling good, then other people aren't feeling good either. So it's in your own best interest to be kind to yourself, self-love, and love others. Number 3, the law of action. Each action would provide a different result based on thoughts, words, dreams, or emotions. Thoughts, words, and actions, if all in line, will help accomplish goals. Number 4, the law of correspondence. This law states that if you are in control of your own life, every action we make will be reflected in our outer world to an inner world. Number 5, the law of cause and effect. This is a good one. Our actions create a reaction. Newton's third law. For every action force, there will be an equal and opposite reaction force physically, verbally, or mentally. The law of compensation, number 6. Blessings will come in our lives through various forms such as gifts, money, and friendship. Virtuous actions create happiness. The law of attraction is number 7. We attract things, people, or events into our lives by our own actions, thoughts, or emotions. Our thoughts are energy that attract more energy. Positive will attract more positive energy. Like attracts like. It's like if you start working on yourself and you start to transform yourself into the best version of you, what you attract into your life as time goes on will change unless, and I'm talking about people too, circumstances and people and events. And if you are attracted to someone or something and you continue to work on yourself and become more in touch with and aware to others and to yourself, you will attract a different circumstance or person. And I find that as time goes on, it's interesting, I attract less and less negativity. And eventually the people that were negative in my life kind of just disappear, and they're not attracted to me anymore because I don't think I have anything that they want. Number 8, the law of perpetual transmutations of energy. We possess the power to change the conditions of our lives. Higher vibration consumes and transforms lower ones. We are able to change the energies in our life. Number 9, the law of relativity. We must develop by going through a series of problems while remaining connected to our hearts. Compare our problems with other people's problems. Someone will always be in a worse position than you. Number 10, the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. Without experiencing a negative emotion, we will not know a positive emotion. So you have a reference point, awareness of the difference. Law of rhythm, number 11. All energy vibrates at a certain speed and rhythm. Everything has a cycle and stages of development. The only way to master each rhythm is by facing the negative part of each cycle. Number 12, the law of gender. Everything has masculine, yang, and feminine, yin principle, a balance of masculine and feminine energies. Okay, so that's something to think about. I mean, we can all start with the law of divine oneness, which is we are all connected. All thoughts, words, and actions will affect others. So be good to yourself and be good to others. Boo, 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 do, 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 do. Okay. Next we're going to cover, real life phenomenon. trying to send something. Okay. All right. So real life phenomenon, the mysteries. Now there's natural phenomenon, right? So we're going to talk about that. So natural phenomenon, is that upside down? Occurs in nature. So it might occur with weather, fog, thunder, tornadoes, biological processes, germination, physical processes, erosion tidal flow, moon blast, blood moon, natural disasters, electromagnetic pulses, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, midnight sun, and polar night. Now, there's also what's called like a phenomenon, for example. So here's a picture of something that kind of looks like a spirit. So a phenomenon is a remarkable person, thing, or event, a situation that is observed or exists with no explanation. Now, one example of that might be something like cryptozoology, which is the study of cryptids and the search for legendary animals like Sasquatch to evaluate their existence. I want to say that for years I had this obsession with vortexes, and I even painted vortexes. So a vortex is a circular motion that tends to form a cavity or vacuum in the center of the earth, in the center of the circle, and draw towards this cavity. My obsession with vortexes began in 2013, and I started painting. I have paintings in my home and collages, and I just had this obsession with vortexes. And what's interesting is I sometimes visualize like a vortex. So like a vortex going up, you know, here's the wide part, and then it goes up, and then it goes to a point, and then goes up back. So it'd be like two triangles. And I think about how it's going up to heaven. And I don't know why my mind does that, but I think that there's vortexes in maybe space. There's vortexes, certain vortexes on the planet that have some kind of energy that's flowing to us from another dimension of time and space. And sometimes I even think things like maybe some of this phenomenon, these legends like Bigfoot or these aliens or UFOs are coming through some kind of time and space, like another dimension, because they just disappear. You know, you see these footprints of Sasquatch, and then they just go to nowhere. So where is he going? But about vortexes, so a vortex, a circular motion that tends to form a cavity or vacuum in the center of a circle to draw towards this cavity or vacuum. Once a vortex is moving, it carries with it an angular or linear momentum, energy, and mass. Paranormal vortexes, which defy laws of physics, time, and space, are opening known as gateways, doorways, or portals. These unusual energy fields cause phenomenon. There are spiritual vortexes, which are cross points between energy fields. So there's in the world, we know of spiritual, sacred, high energy and high vibrational locations on the earth. In Spain, Comando Santiago in Spain is one. In India, there's one. In New Zealand, there's another. There's the Dead Sea in Israel. Angkor, I'm sorry, I butcher words. Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Sedona, Arizona is known, which we've all heard of. Machu Picchu in Peru. Uluru in Australia. The Sanctuary of Apollo in Greece. the Western Wall in Israel, the Temple Circuit in Japan. So I just thought I'd share with you about phenomenon, and if you want to write anything or talk about it with me, let me know. Before we move on, I think I'm going to give a visualization. I think that that's going to be very helpful right now to me and maybe to you. So a visualization is a way of relaxation and connecting to the light that's in your heart. So let's do that together right now. We will create vivid mental images in our mind's eye, bringing positive emotions such as joy, happiness, and hope. Blessings. Our intention today is to clear away negative thoughts with a ball of glowing light. Let's realize connecting your mind, body, spirit to divine light will shed darkness in yourself and unblock your true purpose and passions. Your ball of glowing light visualization begins now. Please find a quiet space, sit or lay down comfortably, and let's close our eyes. Let's start to scan our body for tension. So we're going to inhale and exhale 3 times together. Now I'd like you to check from the top of your head, your crown chakra, to the tip of your toes for any tension. So deeply let out a breath. So our intention today is to release negative emotions preventing us from our own personal happiness. Let's imagine that there is a bright, glowing light in the distance. The ball of light is bold and powerful and energetic. As the ball of light travels to you, all past nuances in your life begin to depart your system, and you feel a sense of relief as they leave. You sense it is a positive and necessary experience to grow and achieve your goals. So this ball of light comes closer and closer, and as it comes closer, you embrace the energy that it brings you. You sense that it's pure and hope and love. And as this ball of light covers your body, it protects you. You feel safe and warm and secure. Now no one may harm you. The glowing, powerful ball of light reaches beyond your head and below your feet. And this huge, enormous ball of light is powerful. And it slowly diminishes old thoughts and past mindsets that have kept you from moving forward and keeping you stagnant. And you feel more and more at ease, and you let out a sigh of relief. It remains surrounding your body, filling your bones, your flesh, and your organs, and you give permission to this glowing light to fill your cells and positive light and energy. You breathe out pain and anger and sadness, and you forgive those that you've hurt or have hurt you, and you've let go of the fear. You speak out negativity if necessary. There's room now for more love. Your heart grows bigger. A new awareness of calm takes over. You feel happier. You feel lighter. You feel a release. And you acknowledge this, and you know tomorrow when you wake up, you will have less stress and less tension, and you will feel less alone. You surrender to this. You stay in the moment. You remember this feeling, and I will count backwards to 3, and you will open your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we're going to move on now to something that is in the news, of course, which is UFOs. So here's a picture of a spaceship, or a a plane, a Lockheed plane. So right now in the news, we are hearing about UFO fragments, possibly. And does the government have a crashed UFO? I was told this is from the paper, the news. I was told for decades that Lockheed had some of these retrieved materials, Harry Reid said, and I tried to get at, as I recall, a classified approval by the Pentagon to have me go look at the stuff. They would not approve that, Reid continued. I don't know what all the numbers were, what kind of classification it was, but they would not give that to me. His comments were part of an in-depth New Yorker story on U.S. government investigations into unidentified aerial phenomenon. The Post revealed that an ex-Pentagon official who says he ran the program probing UAPs believes that the feds have been covering up their existence. The controversial whistleblower Louis Alenzo said that he hasn't been able to get to the Defense Department to act on what he described as a serious national security risk. He's the former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. He said that the highly anticipated report, due June 25th, will address what UFO believers have been clamoring to discover about the tic-tac shaped objects the Navy have seen, the strange cubes within spheres seen by naval aviators, and the mysterious black triangles reported around the world. Harry Reid, who once took credit for arranging $22 million to annual funding for the advanced I'm trying to come up with the name, AATIP, has consistently defended the whistleblower. Okay, so I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Now, this woman right here, she is the first Briton in space in 1992. She says aliens definitely exist and they could be living among us. This is from January. Aliens definitely exist, the first astronaut said, and it's possibly that they're living among us on Earth but have gone undetected so far. Helen Sherman, who visited the Soviet Mir station in 1991, told the Observer newspaper, aliens exist. There's no two ways about it. There are so many billions of stars out there in the universe that there must be all sorts of different forms of life, she went on. There are so many billions, there's so many billions of stars out there in the universe that there must be all sorts of different forms of life. Will they be like you and me, made up of carbon and nitrogen? Maybe not. Then in a tantalizing theory that should probably make you suspicious of your colleagues, Sharman added, it's possible that they're here right now and we simply can't see them. She was the first of 7 Britons to enter space. The chemist spent 8 days as a researcher on the space mission when she was 27, making her one of the youngest people to enter orbit. The NASA rovers are trolling Mars for evidence of past or present forms, but humankind's endless fascination with extraterrestrial life and forms have been so far proved fruitless. Sharman is not the only person to speculate that we've had brushes with aliens, though. Aliens, flying discs, and sightings. Oh my, a short history of UFOs in America. A former Pentagon official who led a secret government program to research potential UFOs revealed in 2017 told CNN the time that he believes there is evidence of alien life reaching Earth. Elsewhere in her interview, Sharman said there's no greater beauty than looking at the Earth from up high. Interesting, right? Okay, so as I've been reading lately, I'm finding that if we do encounter spaceships, their electromagnetic field has radiation, and it could be detrimental to our bodies because its effect on us will damage our organs, and let me explain. Electromagnetic field is a property of space caused by the motion of an electric charge. A stationary charge will produce only an electric field in the surrounding space. If the charge is moving, a magnetic field is also produced. An electric field can be produced also by changing magnetic field. So I found some information about what happens to you if you have encountered some UFOs. Let me find this. Okay. So, this Dr. Kit Green says, I'm interested in the notion of people injured physically by anomalous events. Often these events are perceived as involving unidentified aerial phenomenon, drones, high energy radio frequency that confront people face to face and cannot be explained. He began working on a research project to address this enigma. He began creating a structured database of individuals that were suffering agnatic injuries, burns, skin lesions, cancers, diseases, and who have also had face-to-face encounters with UAPs. And apparently 25% of patients die within 5 to 7 years of diagnosis. I have no idea how many programs I knew about years ago can do these things. And these people become injured. So if you are within close proximity of a UFO, I read, don't go towards it. So if you have an encounter in the sky, I don't think it's the same as if you're having face-to-face encounter, because the radiation given off by a UFO will damage your system. I don't know if the pilots seeing UFOs for years and years, some of these pilots have stated that they've seen and encountered on radar these UFOs, these UAPs, every day for years. I don't know if that has an effect on them because they are in an aircraft. So our goal, the forensic diagnosis of agnatic illness, treatment, protection, and improved patient well-being, uses the latest neurosciences and genomics. So it's, I'll be reading more about this to understand it. There's a paper by a UFO, Effects of UFOs Upon People by Joseph McCampbell. The paper includes radiation injuries. So a UFOnaut, a UFO not is an inhabitant of a UFO, which we haven't seen any of those except allegedly the aliens, extraterrestrials, UFOnauts from Roswell. Okay. Luis Alonso. Wait, let me pull up his picture so we know who we're talking about. Elizondo, UFO Pentagon Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, Pentagon UAP Task Force leader said on June 24th it will be revealed data report on UFOs to Congress. Is this a national security threat? It's been said that UFOs are turning on nuclear weapons in other countries and turning off nuclear weapons in the USA. Why do they have interest in our nuclear technology? The whistleblower warns Pentagon report may be watered down. So these are some of the observations. The UAPs fastest outperform our aircraft, transmedia aircraft travel, which is the concept of aircraft that can both fly through the air and dive underwater. They have low observability, which means a subdiscipline of military tactics and passive electronic countermeasures which cover a range of techniques used with objects to make them less visible on radar, infrared, and other detection methods. They have anti-gravity. Anti-gravity is known as a non-gravitational field, is a hypothetical phenomenon of creating a place or object that is free from the force of gravity. And it's a recurring concept in science fiction, particularly in the context of spacecraft propulsion. They have instantaneous acceleration. Anybody out there want to give me some input on this? They have instantaneous acceleration, which is a continuous function of time and gives the acceleration at any specific time during the motion. It is calculated from the derivative of the velocity function. Instantaneous acceleration is the slope of the velocity versus time graph. There's no cockpits, and it's not secret U.S. technology. Has alien technology been utilized in our technology? Footage appears of UFOs at 40 feet, long, wide, oblong shape, tic-tacs hovering 15,000 to 24,000 feet midair, no exhaust from propulsion sources. Also, I wanted to read that yesterday. Let me see. So I read the object is going approximately 500 miles per hour with any visible propulsion or any airfoils that provide lift. According to calculations of the USS Princeton radar team, the so-called Tic-Tac UAP would have reached a maximum speed of about 46,000 miles per hour during a descent, or 60 times the speed of sound. As a point of comparison, the fastest manned aircraft that the U.S. Air Force has ever operationally Hi! UFO James McCampbell, the MUFON UFO Journal, says, UFOs hover in the sky, no indication of propulsion system, defy gravity, flitting about, sudden acceleration, stops and right turns, high speed, anti-gravitational, and no inertia. Now, what are the effects on people from a UFO? Apparently, number one, bullet. So if a bullet hits a UFO, if someone decides to shoot at a UFO, it'll strike the metal surface and ricochet. There's shock waves at takeoff, and then there's sounds. A roar explosion, a low-pitched sound, a buzz, this is UFOs, a rush of air, whoosh, a high pitch, a shrill whistle, a signal, beep, pulses. Number two, violent. There's a mist. Apparently there's a mist during a UFO encounter. A whistle sound that becomes loud, accompanied by a bang, a blast of air and heat. The sound of a shock wave, delayed for the distance and speed of sound. Microwaves emanating from UFOs, certain wavelengths, restantly absorbed by water molecules with the accompanying transfer of momentum that is force. And then there's tones, number three. Sounds of high-pitched or low-pitched. These are all during an experience of a UFO. The sounds stimulated by microwave radiation from UFOs would be discontinually dependent on the distance of the UFO. Apparently there's a smell. Number four, odor, sulfur, dioxide, benzoyl, ozone. So that the explanation is from a chemical reaction, the atmosphere triggered by the electrical discharge on microwave radiation. And number five, a taste. So a taste in your mouth, a taste of copper or metal. The explanation, transient magnetic field alternating at less than 1,000, turned off and turned on. Blasts of electromagnetic energy causes a metallic taste in your mouth. And so you also have, during a UFO encounter, feelings and sensation of heat, mild warmth to painful burn. UFOs encased in a brilliant plasma will radiate energy in a broad band of frequencies, cause objects to become hot, electrical shock. Sometimes these are not registered by the ordinary senses. An encounter of a UFO may cause paralysis or motor control nerve, which is motor control nerves. And radiation injuries. Also, I want to say UFOnauts, which is the man in the UFO, the inhabitant. There's what's called an NHE, which is a non-human entity. It could be biological, biologically cloned, synthetic artificial, or a combination of technology and biology. An entity that displays some human characteristics not enough to be human. Okay, well, that's all I have to say on UFOs today. I'd like to just mention angels because I love angels, and angels have guided me and they protect me. And I know this morning I was having a rough patch, and there's so much going on out in the world right now, and I'm hanging on sometimes just like everyone else. And if you get into the groove of your normal life, which is interacting with other people, it seems to help. If you spend too much time alone, I don't think that that's healthy. And my suggestions always go to do a visualization, connect with nature, or engage with nature, which is spending at least 5 to 15 minutes a day outside, just acknowledging the beauty and becoming aware of your surroundings and feeling grounded and connected to pieces of nature, water, earth, air. Angels. So angels are spiritual benevolent beings of divine wisdom. These celestial beings are the messengers from God, the heavens. They're protecting humanity. They travel from the heavens to earth to guide and protect us. They're messengers. They're depicted in fine arts in human form with beautiful, glowing halos and wings. They're immortal. They're non-gender. There's 9 orders of angels. The highest rank are seraphim, cherubim, thrones, dominions, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and guardian angels. It is said that we each have 2 guardian angels with us from birth. These benevolent beings are powerful with few weaknesses and not subject to death. Angels have no physical cravings. They're made up of pure spirit and divine light. Angels or spirit guides will help with spiritual intentions. Statistics say 68% of Americans believe in angels. Angels are goodness. Now, before we go today, I want to share with you some helpful tips. There's something what's called globalizing light. So I'm going to give you a few steps to globalizing light. Step 1. Commune with yourself. Turn off all electronics and close your eyes. Let's do this together. Close your eyes. Release a breath. Connect with your patience and connect with your peace inside your being, your inner peace. And if you feel as though you don't have peace, let's search and find out what's blocking you from your peace. You might want to release some negative emotions through journaling. You just get a book and you write down anything that's bothering you, stream of consciousness. Don't worry about grammar. You can go down to a body of water. I've done many times and I will continue to do, and I just stand there and it's like I speak aloud and I speak to the water and I say, I'm letting go of everything, and I list whatever's bothering me and I let it go out into the water. And I almost always have some kind of response. It's not immediate, but maybe the next day I'll either dream about it, I might cry a little bit, but it's a way of letting go. So you can even shout, talk aloud, cry, do it alone. Number 2 step. Let's express positive thoughts, words, and actions. This is a way of bringing good karma into your life. Let's say you're not feeling well, you can even speak aloud some positive words, which might be nature, light, goodness, hope. Step 3, communicating with others. And while communicating with others, show kindness. This will integrate your light out into the world. I know at first, by setting our boundaries and having self-love, we can connect to the beautiful glowing light that we each have, that we were born with, that through life, circumstances, your actions, others' actions, trauma you might have, the light is covered. So we want to uncover the beautiful glowing light and embrace it. And then after you've come to a point that you feel safe and you feel healthy and you're at a beneficial place where, in other words, you're waking up in the morning and you're waking up and you're feeling good from the time you wake up. You're not getting to good. You feel good from the time you wake up. When you're in a place where it's solid, it's consistent, then you can put light out into the world and you can share your light with others. Maybe you're thinking positive thoughts to people. Maybe you're engaging with random acts of kindness. Whatever it might be for you to put out into the world, compassion and love and empathy. I've heard many times when people get upset or someone comes to them and they are angry or unhappy, they want to fight it out with the person. But what I found is that negative emotions will only encourage negative emotions. So instead of going up against someone or something this way, you want to send it light. Like if I feel as though, or I sense that someone's coming at me negatively, I send them light. I imagine hugging them rather than fighting with them. This is only something you're able to do if you have found your light. And I know it takes time. It's a process, 66 days to inner peace and personal serenity. And if you let go of your negativity, you will unblock yourself and bring more positivity into your life. Like attracts like. You will bring positive people, circumstances into your life, relationships, career. Well, that's all for today. I will be back on Monday, and we will have a stream at 2 o'clock with guest Peter Hansen, who's an angelic channeler. You can find me at maryamyofficial.com, on my Instagram and Facebook, Mary Amy Official. Thank you for joining me. I know today I've been a little delayed. I myself, I feel like I'm transitioning, and I'm like on the brink of tears the whole day. And I'm trying my best today, like everyone else is. And I hope that something that I've said today resonates with you and brings you to a better place. I know that we all have to have highs and lows, right? And this means that something good's coming around the corner for me, because I'm going through something and I have lessons to learn right now, I suppose. I'm really going to try to turn inward and not find anything. I'm just going to sit in this, and it will pass like everything does. And I hope that I didn't bring you down, and I hope that you understand that I'm just like you, and I'm going through something right now, like we all go through things. And I wish you to have a lovely weekend, and that you are happier. And that's it. My blessings to you in honor of my Scottish grandmother Lucille. Lang mer your lum reek, meaning I wish you good luck and good fortune in the future. Be well, take care, have a great day, bye.